Well, I'll just tell you, people. Hopefully, 3 videos I've oh, got edited and it's gonna be uploaded. I've tried at least 5 times to hit the record button on my, you know, like I said, my controller. The drunken cripple is, well, I'm feeling good at this moment. I did my best. I've got the 3 videos, they're ready. The gigantic one I'm going to upload first, the other 2 to follow, hopefully. This is going to begin story time number, I think, whatever said, number 2 or 3. Anyway, I might add some names to it just because, holy moly, that shit is louder than hell. Got to have no copyrights, as usual. Let me cut out old Chris and his bullshit. No, I don't want a mirror. I want to skip. Just give me some music. I mean, holy hell. There we go. Anyway, this is going to be I might actually put some names up on this one. They won't be last names. They might be first names. They might be random names. This is going to be my first stab at story time. Because some of them in life you just have to share. This is one of mine. Now, just understand, I mean, the few followers I have, most of them are from the South. I might have a few from, wherever. But, you know, you live in the South, I'll go ahead and say Northwest Georgia. There's not a whole lot going on, people. I mean, there's a town, or a couple of towns, thankfully. I'm not going to name them out. But, you know, it was typical. High school, we did what we did. We cruised through and did this and did that. This particular story, I was not yet legal age, we'll just say, of driving. But thankfully, my father, he bought me a car, little Datsun, little Datsun 210, named it Silver Bullet. This car, which it will have its own story later, but this car was my first car and my first love of learning how to drive. Granted, we were on a farm. I took this car out like it was a four-wheel drive beast. I took it through stuff that only some people could imagine, and it just kept on. I learned how to drive a stick. I learned how to do 180s, drift, when drifting was, nobody even knew what drifting was. I was going sideways through a field, dodging cows and jumping over creeks and dodging rocks. This was you know, this was fun, and I loved every minute of it. Anyway, a few friends of mine come down, which, I mean, that was few and far between because I moved out to the middle of nowhere. They were up in what you would call the city, and getting them down here was like pulling teeth, but I made it happen. 3 of them come down. We were going to go camping. Whatever reason, however it made it, I will say that I did not buy it or I was not involved, but a large amount of beer was involved. It made it into the trunk of the Silver Bullet. Well, the property had a main property, was a house property, a creek, well, a branch, and you crossed over and went up through all this stuff, and on the other side, you went down and you made it to the main creek, which was on the other side. Well, we got in our minds we were going camping. Whatever reason, I don't know why. Mom, Pop, they let us go. We loaded up this little Datsun 210. Went across the field, across the creek, went up this goat path through the rocks and all that. Come out on top, went across another field and made it down to a spot where you could kind of make a campfire. Well, we made it there and made a campfire. Needless to say, if you know me, I'm not the one to get, you know, to just drink and drink. Well, one of the four of us, I will say, is known to drink more than the rest of us. And he finished off all this stuff. It's getting late. The fires went down. Yeah, I'm going to try to make it short, but uh, anyway, fires went out. The beer's gone. Three of us are in the car trying to sleep. The one that drank all the beer is kind of in a makeshift tent. And this was when things went sideways. He comes out of the tent, decides he is Superman or, Spider-Man. Hell, he might even thought he was damn, I don't know, you know, the freaking Green Lantern. I don't know. They comes out of this tent. I'm stretched out in the driver's seat, tilted back. There two are piled in the car. Remember, this is a Datsun 210. Two door. Three. I'm 6'4" on a good day. The other guy, he's not much shorter. The other guy, he's a little bit shorter. We're stuffed in this little car. He comes out, decides that life is not treating him right, whatever reason. We're snoozing, and then everything happens. He starts smacking on the hood, smacking on windows, and for whatever reason, is like a wild man going on. I don't know what's happening. All I know to do is bring my seat up and tell him, say, get back in the tent, but he's not having any of it. The boy is gone crazy. Maybe it was I don't know. Let's say back then, maybe it was the 79 cent for, a 12 pack beer. And I'd had enough. I've got them in the background saying, what's going on? He's beating on the car, and, you know, this is my first car. You know, it's, like I said, it's nicknamed Silver Bullet. I love it, and even though I treat it bad, and from time to time, it's my car. He's beating on it and going on. Well, I throw the seat up. Here I am, up in the passenger or the driver's seat. Crank that little nugget up, throw it in reverse, and here we go. I'm done. Well, just imagine we're down in a little valley, and I'm backing up this hill where we went down to get to the campsite. As I back up through there, and it might have been a little fast because, I was annoyed. He decides to pick up some rocks. He throws said rocks at the car. Well, I made it halfway up and I'm not happy. I'm not saying I was sober. I'm not saying I was drunk, but I wasn't happy. It went from reverse to first. Went back down Set Hill, got down it, and I think the last thing, I mean, give me a break here. This has been shit. Yeah, 1990. I'm trying to do the best. I'm sure if he makes the time to watch the video, he might make a comment or some of the others. But made it back down Set Hill. He's still beating and going. And at this time, I'm pretty annoyed. So I throw it back in reverse. Well, when I throw it in reverse this time, he's at the corner of the front left. And I throw it around like a 180, like a stunt driver. It was epic. I can still remember the picture as the car went left. It caught his knee or whatever. He went over it, I don't know, like a chicken trying to figure out what's happening to him. He went over the hood and landed on the other side, and I went back up a little bit. All I can remember then is, oh, I'm hurt on my knee, blah, 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 blah. So at that point, things get, as you would say, real. So turned the car off. Well, no, didn't turn the car off. Turned the car back around, faced him just to see, and watched him limp himself back into the tent. And supposedly he was hurt and all this stuff. I've got there or two in the background saying all these different things, but I'm watching him in the headlights limp. He's like, oh, 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 oh. It's like a hurt dog going, trying to make himself in the doghouse. He gets in the tent. Well, time goes by. These two in my background are letting out stuff. In my head, I'm trying to figure out stuff. We done wounded one of our best friends. What do we do with him? Well, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. You're a teenager, you got a wounded friend, they're drunk, this, that, the other, there's a creek. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Throw his ass in the creek? Let him survive. Might be wrong, might not be right. But anyway, that didn't happen. Anyway, about 10 minutes later, after all this stuff's going through our heads and we're watching, he comes out, smacks the hands on his hood and's like, blah, 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 going on. Well, he's okay. Evidently, he wasn't hurt that bad. Even though this day, like I said, if he watched the video, he might make a comment and say, oh, you hurt me. But he was good to go. So, short story, shorter. We almost throwed one of our best friends in the creek. He was drunk. He was an asshole. But we wound up piling him back in the little Datsun. Went away from the campsite. And one of the better stories of the whole situation, we made it down the goat path, across the creek, back into the main field. Got out there, and I mean, this was, holy shit, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, I guess. I don't know if, dad and mom even knew what was going on, but I had the lights off and was trying to be as quiet as possible. Made it to the next field, and one of said friends, he said, hell with this, I'm getting out. Well, again, there's 4 people now in a 2-door Datsun 210. He gets out with his sleeping bag and decides to camp beside us. Well, hell, I just pull the thing up, let the seat back, and I'm done. It's been an epic night. Go on to about when the sun comes up or so. At this time, we had cows. Yeah, moo cows. I'll wake up for whatever reason, pull the lever up. I'm in the driver's seat as usual. Look out, and here he is. He's laying there, snoring away. There's two cows looking at him face to face. One of them is almost touching tongue to his nose. But you know what? He don't care. I'm looking around. I find a random beer can. I throw it at the cow. Get away. Makes no difference. He has made a friend with these two cows. Finally, after a few minutes goes by, he wakes up because I decide not to throw the beer cans that are laying in the car at him. One of them hits his head. He wakes up, and you know what? He's face to face with a cow. He finally realizes, climbs back in the little car, and we make it for, I don't know. Like I said, this is morning's come, the sun's coming up. We're just, I mean, if you ever been to that point where wherever you are, you're aching for the sun to come up enough to where you can go home. That's that's where we were at. To find that place that had solitude. Well, it finally happened. I drove that little Datsun into across the field and into the gates and to the house, and brought us all back alive. And let me tell you, that is one of the stories that I'm sure none of us will ever forget. I won't. But yeah, just remember, cows are your friend. Beer isn't. Don't throw rocks at a Datsun. Shit happens.